Before the earth was made, wisdom stood tall, knowing every step through the rise and the fall. In the pages of Proverbs, secrets unfold, revealing a treasure more precious than gold. Get wise, open your eyes, read a chapter every day, you'll realize. Guided by wisdom, let preparedness rise. Get wise, it's no surprise. A proverb a day will bring wisdom your way. Get wise.
It takes wisdom to get paid, to walk the right way, to make the right choices every single day.
From the dawn of creation to the hustle and grind, Proverbs light the path for a clear state of mind. Get wise, open your eyes, read a chapter every day, you'll realize. Guided by wisdom, let preparedness rise. Get wise, it's no surprise. A proverb a day will bring wisdom your way. Get wise. A proverb a day will bring wisdom your way. A wife shouldn't nag, men shouldn't pay. Shut your lips like a vice, show people you're wise. Get wise, open your eyes, read a chapter every day, you'll realize. Guided by wisdom, let preparedness arise. Get wise, it's no surprise. A proverb a day will bring wisdom your way. Get wise. In every verse there's a lesson to learn, a spark of truth in every turn. So take a moment, let the words sink in. With every chapter, let the journey begin. Get wise, open your eyes, read a chapter every day, you'll realize. Guided by wisdom, let preparedness rise. Get wise, it's no surprise. A proverb a day will bring wisdom your way. Get wise, open your eyes, read a chapter every day, you'll realize. Guided by wisdom, let preparedness arise. Get wise, it's no surprise. A proverb a day will bring wisdom your way. Get wise.
Well, good morning. My name is DJ, and I read a proverb every single day. But first, I pray for you. Father God, thank you so much for another day and for all that you've done for us, all that you are doing with us. And Father, today we do ask that you would grant us your wisdom and your understanding in a world that seems to be actively rejecting it. And so we do ask that you help us be those beacons of truth and wisdom to the world around us. We pray this in your Son's name. Amen. All right, let's do this.
It's time for Proverbs every day. Words of wisdom show you the way. Every month a whole new look, different version of the book. Reading the whole chapter each calendar day. Proverbs every
Well, just a little logistics here. Yeah, I do apologize. This is an odd thing going on here where, yeah, I think we're good, but a little logistical problem here. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just gonna move forward and assume we can fix it later. I think our YouTube stream is not working this morning, and I do apologize for that. If that is the case, I am trying to figure that out. But I think I'm just going to let it go, and I can always just repost the recording if I need to. All right, here we go. So Proverbs 25, we are in the, oh, actually, I think there it goes. So we're good. In the New International, sorry. Can you tell I got woken up way too early? We are in the New American Standard Bible, and chapter 25. Let's just get into this and let me stop talking. Similitudes and instructions is the subtitle they gave this section. These are also Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, transcribed. I'm curious about this, just nerding out for a moment. I don't know if I've seen that. We'll have to look at that. In any case, verse 2, it is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings to search out a matter. Very odd. I'm not even sure what to do with that one, really. But I think it's more of just like we discover the kind of this joy in the discovery, I guess you could say. There's a method we have of discovering things, and it's in that process that we learn more deeply. I'm assuming that's what that kind of means, but I could be wrong about that. Verse 3, as the heavens for height and the earth for depth, so the heart of kings is unsearchable. Take away the impurities from silver, and there comes out a vessel for the smith. The dross, the impurities, those things that make it look like silver, but it's not. Take away the wicked before the king, and his throne will be established in righteousness. So this here is interesting because I think what this is kind of pointing to is, like we've said before about the notion of being around people that are a good influence and that sort of thing. So taking the wicked away from the king and the throne will be established. In other words, the king can't do everything, and it's a lot like any kind of leader where there is a need to have people around you that are doing the things that you are not, physically. There's only so much time in the day, right? There's no way that a leader can do everything, and they may want to, and they may have the instinct to do that, but the problem is you need people around you. And so if those people are wicked, then you have a problem, don't you? And so that's why this is saying the throne is established in righteousness, because if you have those wicked people away from there, then you have the correct influence there. Verse 6, do not boast in the presence of a king. Do not stand in the same place as great people, or in the place of great people. For it is better that it be said of you, or to you, come up here, than for you to be placed lower in the presence of the prince, whom your eyes have seen. I'm not sure what whom your eyes have seen means. I don't know what that refers to. Hmm. Yeah, you know what? I'm not sure. Verse 8. Do not go hastily to argue your case or contend your case. Otherwise, what will you do in the end when your neighbor humiliates you? Argue your case with your neighbor and do not reveal the secret of another. Or one who hears it will put you to shame, and the evil report about you will not pass away or not return. So I think we've seen something similar to this before, as far as the when your neighbor humiliates you. Argue your case with your neighbor. In other words, resolve it peacefully. But do not reveal a secret of another. Here's what puts you to shame. In other words, this is the whole gossip thing. I'm not actually sure these. Oh, okay. I think I've got this. So basically, what this is saying, if we put it all in one, is not to do what everybody does on social media at this point, and instead of because we can't necessarily confront the person, or in some cases, I have literally seen this in. I hate to be this way, but in certain smaller social groups, that instead of resolving a conflict with that person, they will go out and gossip basically, and try to align everyone else against that person by giving secrets, by gossiping and rumors, and just trying to discredit them as much as possible. And so that's what this is speaking out against, I think. There's probably other ways it can be applied, but that's kind of what I see the most. Verse 11. Like apples of gold in settings of silver is a word spoken at the proper time. Like an earring of gold in a jewelry piece of fine gold, or a nose ring. Huh. Like an earring of gold and a jewelry piece of fine gold is a wise person who offers rebuke to a listening ear. Like the cold of snow in the time of harvest. Oh my gosh, what's going on here? On the day of harvest. Is a faithful messenger to those who sent him, for he refreshes the soul of his masters. Like clouds and wind without rain is a person who boasts of his gifts falsely. Or in a gift of falsehood. It doesn't work. Like is a person who boasts of his gifts falsely. Through patience, a ruler may be persuaded, and a gentle tongue breaks bone. Oh, through length of anger, a ruler may be persuaded. Okay. Have you found honey? Eat only what you need, or to your sufficiency, so that you do not have it in excess and vomit it. I mean, it's kind of common sense, but I guess maybe not so common. Another way to say this is the concept of if you found honey. In other words, it's not something you produced. It's something kind of found in the wild, I guess you could say. It's a concept of not just taking all of it for yourself, just so nobody else has it. Let your foot rarely be in your neighbor's house, or he'll become wary of you and hate you. Like a club, sword, or a sharp arrow is the person who gives false testimony against his neighbor. Like a bad tooth and an unsteady foot is confidence in a treacherous person in time of trouble. Or a slipping foot. Like one who takes off a garment on a cold day, or like vinegar on soda. Natron is one who sings to a troubled heart. Or an evil heart. I'll read that again just because I think that's hilarious. Like one who takes off a garment on a cold day, or like vinegar on soda, is one who sings songs to a troubled heart. It's one of those, you think you're doing the right thing, but if you're, you might not be. Some people don't just need to be encouraged, in other words. Oh, goodness. Verse 21. If your enemy is hungry, or one who hates you is hungry, give him food to eat. If he is thirsty, give him water to drink. For you will heap burning coals on his head. The Lord will reward you. Snatch up burning coals on his head. So that's one that a pretty common saying, heaping coals on the head of your enemy. It very often taken out of context. Actually, extremely often taken out of context. But the concept here is that you need to be the better person and not withhold that just because somebody is acting against you. That's the concept here. The north wind brings rain, and a gossiping tongue brings an angry face. Or tongue of secrecy, that gossiping thing we talked about. It is better to live on the corner of a roof than in a house shared with a contentious woman, or with a woman of contentious and a house, or with a woman of contentions and a house of association. But yeah, that one is. I think I mentioned that before, so no repeating that one. I think you can go back and reference that. It's made a difference in my life. Let's put it that way. Not with my current wife, just to be completely transparent with that. And yeah, way in the past, 20 years ago, 22 years ago. Verse 25, like cold water to a weary soul so is good news from a distant land. So cold water being something that was not necessarily common in a desert land. So just keep that in mind. Like a trampled spring and a polluted well, so is a righteous person who gives way before the wicked. Or ruined well, okay. It is not good to eat much honey, nor it is glory to seek out one's own glory. It is not good to eat much honey, nor is it glory to search out one's own glory. I think this is the same kind of thing we were talking about before, where there's a notion of taking everything you can so that nobody else gets it. So I think that I think I see that in our world. It's not just with food, but with, again, the eat much honey thing. I think that's a reference back to the whole finding it in the wild, not cultivating it on your own. I'm not aware that was really done much in those days. I could be mistaken about that, but I'm not sure. In fact, we see a lot of references to honey as being kind of this premium thing. That's like the sort of like not quite to the level of gold, but it is something where it's just like finding it kind of made you, you know, appear blessed kind of thing. So there's multiple references to it, but there's like that kind of border is being put on it here. It's like, yeah, it's good to eat honey, but it's good. It's not good to eat too much because you're taking it from someone else. Yeah, that sort of thing. Like a city that is broken into and without walls, so is a person who has no self control over his spirit. Yeah. Let me pull up a cross reference here. I'm kind of curious about a few things. Oops. There it goes. Well, for example, compiled by the men. Okay. And also, which the men of Hezekiah. Okay. I don't know why I'm geeking out about this, but same thing. Okay. So I guess the point I'm making here is that this is cool that we know now this was not just a single, like I'd given that analogy before of these being post-it notes left to a son kind of thing, and we have that image. But this section is people that were writing down words of Solomon way after the fact. And so I think that's probably why there's some repetition in here. That's very likely the case. But these are the things that have been um, into those leadership positions. And so when it comes to being a leader, and by a leader, I'm not necessarily meaning somebody who is in charge of people. In fact, that's exactly what I don't mean. is is the people that are there to equip and inspire those around them. And so it's that kind of what John Maxwell calls, leading from the shoulder, or we're all moving forward together. It's not one person dragging others along or pushing others along, as a lot of managers do. It's that kind of balance point. And so when you have a bunch of people around there that are learned in that way, that they're not just there to do the work and go home, there is a desire to improve themselves and that sort of thing. And so that is what I see here, is that there's not just these words that came from one person. These are proverbs that were written down in their minds, repeated often. That's why also, by the way, I have been doing this every day as a daily practice, even when I don't want to. It's important because of that. It's a practice that they were obviously in. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to transcribe these down if they weren't in this practice. If this wasn't something that was in their zeitgeist, I guess you could say, that into their culture. So, as any kind of person who is wanting to be a leader, this is critical. If you want to just inspire people, you can be retired and be a leader. In fact, I think I know more people that are retired that are leaders than I know of, like entrepreneurs that are leaders, frankly. So it's one of those things where it's like there's a mindset there of, hey, come along with me. That's like, hey, we're heading here. We're doing this. That's the mindset that I'm talking about. I just find it awesome that we have a ancient way of seeing that. Let's see. So I wanted to look at this. The than for you to be placed lower in the presence of the prince whom your eyes have seen. No help there. Any other cross references? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a non-standard translation here. We're going to pull up the Message and see how he saw that. See, this is one of those examples where it says collected by scribes of Hezekiah. Do you see the distinction there? This just says that these were the people that were around, that were present, but they weren't just doing their job by writing it down. So I kind of like that imagery better than just saying, well, these were some things that the people were supposed to do it did. No, we're saying that they were so inspired by this that they had to write it down. Verse 7, here we go. Don't work yourself in the spotlight. Don't push your way into the place of prominence. Better to be promoted in the place of honor than face humiliation by being demoted. That actually makes sense, but it's like the whom your eyes have seen seems to be ignored here. But I actually do like that. I actually like that a lot. Yeah. Enjoyable stuff for sure. Hope this has been good for you. And I do want to wish a very happy birthday to her that gave me life. Or that, you know what I mean, that suffered through 18 some odd years of me becoming an adult. And so, so I do thank you, Kathy, my mother, and happy birthday. And yeah. So I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope this has been a blessing to you. I'm going to take a rest and then pre-record tomorrow's episode. I got to tell you that last night was just one of those bad nights for me. We live in a new home, and you'd think a brand new home would be well designed, and it is for the most part. But for some reason, they decided to put the heat pump, this massive, like 3-ton heat pump, right outside of our bedroom window. That's true for everybody in this neighborhood, but it's just, yeah, being startled awake several times in the night from just, yeah, it's taken its toll on me. And so I do apologize for being a little bit out of it. I'm fasting, so I'm not doing coffee. And so boosting that with caffeine was not an option today. So I do apologize for that. Like I said, I think I'm going to take a rest before recording tomorrow's episode, and we'll go from there. So in the meantime, we'll see. So the greatest contribution of my life so far. We'll reframe that. Oh, I'm not even sure it's true, but it's all good. All right, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a very blessed and wonderful day, and be blessed by the best, and then be a blessing to all the rest. Love you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.